Welcome everyone. I'm Lynn Woodland, author of Making Miracles Create New Realities for Your Life and Our World, and creator of the Miracles Course. So let's get started by just joining together and setting an intention. Just take a moment to first just relax and let your body and mind relax with a couple of deep, full breaths. And take a moment to just breathe yourself fully present in your body, present in this moment. And just imagine that you've left reality as you've known it outside the room and entered a space where anything is possible. And just imagine that your highest heart's desires are not only possible, but within reach. And you don't even need to believe this. Just imagine what it would feel like if you did believe. And let excitement start to well up. Let anticipation grow. And hold the intention for everyone here on this conference. And for everyone who views the recording of this conference at a later time. Hold the intention for all of us that miracles are now unfolding. And then take another deep breath, come on back. So tonight's class is the very first session of the winter quarter of my year-long Miracles course. And we have one of these live classes every week for enrolled students. And tonight we've opened up for anyone who'd like to audit. And as I was saying, usually a lot of us have our webcams on so we can see and talk to each other. And if any of you would like to do that, please join us. You'll see probably people popping in and out on their webcams during the evening. You don't have to. There's never any pressure to do that. But if you'd like, it's always nice to see you, see your lovely faces. Now, for those of you who are new to this program, the Miracles course, it's really a comprehensive program of weekly spiritual exercises and personal coaching for living a miraculous life. And the content of the course is very practical. It emphasizes applying spiritual principles in a way that allows us to make big leaps into our desired life goals in a way that's easy and joyful, and in a way that allows us to appreciate the journey as much as the results. And as much as this course is all about manifesting our own personal highest happiness and highest good, it's just as much about becoming a leader, a teacher, a healer, and a catalyst for positive change in the world around us. Because whenever we step into true empowerment, we just naturally become increasingly aware of our connection to all life. And we recognize that as one person is left behind, then no one can truly move forward. And as we walk our own personal path of highest good, we just find that we naturally take others with us. So that's why this program of personal growth is also an ordination program for any of those of you who want that certification. And we define ministry as our path of highest contribution, and we believe that everyone has such a path. Now, it isn't something you have to do to be part of the Miracles course. It's just something that is of interest to some participants. Now, The Miracles course, one very important aspect of it is that it works with a circular rather than linear curriculum, using the seasons as a template for wholeness. And I do that because of the way the cycles of nature just so beautifully portray all of the archetypes of human experience. So that in the light-filled seasons of spring and summer, and I work with the seasons of my own particular region, but the cycle is archetypal, so it really is applicable wherever you are. In the light-filled seasons of spring and summer, the emphasis here in these classes is on growing our dreams in some tangible form. It's on growing the lives we want in a very external way. And in these classes, we address the metaphysical principles of manifestation, how to work with consciousness in a way that calls in the tangible results we want. We work with the spiritual principles of prosperity and a number of other things. Those are just a couple of the high points. Then, in the darker seasons of fall and winter, we work with themes that are more about internalizing and releasing attachment to the material world. So it's kind of the opposite of what we do in the spring and summer. And we cultivate experiences that are more about birthing things within rather than trying to make things happen in the outer world. And when we follow this whole circle of life, we find that the more we pay attention to this rhythm, this ever-changing cycle, the more it really becomes a driving force in our lives. And, the circular curriculum, where the work of one season naturally lays the foundation for the next, starts to create a life experience where the serendipity of our lives, the experiences of our lives just naturally starts to reflect these archetypal themes that we're working with in the Course. Just to give you an example, having done this work myself for many years, I've noticed that major life goals just seem to naturally manifest in the summer, and things will just naturally start dying away and ending in the fall. And to just give you a very specific example, this summer my husband and I manifested an opportunity to move to the West Coast, something that's been a dream of ours for a while now. And we manifested an opportunity to move years sooner than we ever imagined. And then fall came. And, the whole fall quarter is something, it's something of a healing journey. And we actually begin the month with a whole segment dedicated to physical health and spiritual healing. Now, at the very beginning of that month, my husband got diagnosed with lymphoma. A very difficult thing for us both. And he didn't immediately go for all the tests and all the scans to show what stage his lymphoma was in. But the doctor said it's pretty much 90% certain that it would have spread throughout his body and to some extent or another. Now, that was September. In October, the curriculum of the Course addresses themes of dealing with mortality, moving beyond fear, really moving into fear in a way that allows us to really get that ultimately we have nothing to fear. And, serendipitously, my husband and I were both living those themes in a very big and personal way. So the fall quarter is also about letting go of what we don't need anymore and creating quality of life rather than quantity of experience. And we did a lot of work throughout the fall season, to clean up our diets, to let go of life stresses, to put health first. Bill went to see a healer regularly. And then toward the end of the quarter, really just a couple of weeks ago, Bill went in for all of his tests. And now last week, which was the very last class of the fall quarter, he went to find out, how he's doing. And he found out that all of these tests and scans showed no presence of cancer in his body. Even the doctor seemed very surprised. So there was our miracle. And this is just an example. It's kind of a perfect example of how the Course works, as we really dedicate ourselves not just to my exercises, but in a sense to trusting the process of life. There's a natural flow that gets set up. And this Course is about transforming life, not just creating a single result. So it really becomes a path of balance. And the path of balance, it really isn't so much of a linear tightrope, that takes our single pointed focus not to fall. It's really a circular path that naturally leads us to bend and to adjust to its curves. A line takes us straight to a destination. It draws our mind back and forth from a starting point, which is the past, to our imagined ending point in the future. And by contrast, a circle takes us around and around without a beginning or an ending point, making it much more about the journey and the present moment than about the destination. It's a path that gives everything its season but doesn't really stop anywhere. So the winter season that we're just moving into now, the emphasis now is on turning within, on finding spiritual renewal, on listening to inner guidance, on cultivating spiritual empowerment, and dreaming the dreams that will one day bring into manifestation our goals, our what we want to grow in our lives in the spring and summer seasons. And this winter quarter ends with a whole month dedicated, the month of Valentine's Day, the month of February, dedicated to love and relationships. And we have a lot of exercises that are aimed at manifesting the best relationships to serve our highest good. Now, as I was saying, this darkest time of the year is a perfect time for turning attention inward, and for dreaming, for opening to inner guidance, for letting Spirit speak to us through our imagination. And that's what we're going to do tonight. And this first month of the winter quarter, it builds toward a spiritual rebirth and a claiming of spiritual power that we move into at the solstice in just a few weeks. So tonight is the first step in that building process. And as a starting place, I want to invite you all to reflect for a moment on the last year and ask yourself, what have been some of your peak accomplishments of this year? What have you grown? What can you identify as some of the important things that either you have created in a way that you see a clear cause and effect, or perhaps the things that you've just attracted that seem to have just come to you by grace? Claim some credit for those too, because if you weren't ready, if you weren't willing and open, they wouldn't have come to you. So what have you grown this year? And then ask yourself, What do you want to grow in the coming year? What do you hope to see manifest in your life? In fact, what is your highest heart's desire for this year? Doesn't matter if it's something very concrete and external, like your new home, your new relationship, your new job, your healing from a health condition, or it could be something internal, like discerning your highest purpose, or finding peace of mind, freedom from depression, feeling more joy in your life. It doesn't matter what it is. What's important is to discern where you feel the most excitement. So your highest heart's desire, it's not what you think you should focus on as most important. It's what you really feel a lot of passion around. So what is your highest heart's desire? We'll come back to this later. So identify what feels exciting and important. What do you want to grow this year? And now reflect on your life and see if there is something coming to an end. Something coming to an end so that something new can grow. Is there, in fact, something that needs to come to an end in order for something new to take its place? Check in and see if there is something you're aware of that is ending, whether you're ready or not, or something you know really needs to end so that something much better can take its place. And we'll go a little deeper with this now. This is where I'd like us to go into more of a meditative experience. And I suggest you get very comfortable for this. And even close your eyes so that you can really turn your attention inward. So I'm going to guide you through some places. Just relax your body. Quiet your mind with some deep, slow breaths. And just take some time to still your thoughts. Relax all the way. And create a very peaceful state of mind. And just softly, gently, let your awareness expand to include your spiritual self, that beautiful, radiant being of light and energy that is your true self, the part of you that is always whole and perfect and wise without limit, the God spark within you. Bring that to mind. It's always a good way to start spiritual work, by becoming aware of who you really are. And now, just weeks away from the shortest day of the year, at least in my part of the world. If you're not in this part of the world, just imagine that dark time of year in your hemisphere, and just create that in your imagination, and imagine taking in the profound darkness of that season of nature. Picture it in your mind's eye as deep and all-encompassing. Hear its silence. Feel its stillness. And the letting go and the pulling within of the natural world creates a kind of emptiness that's both barren and yet deeply peaceful. And as the light of the physical world is diminished, the inner light of spirit becomes more visible. And as the outer world lies stark, stripped of its summer displays of color and life, it becomes ready for the renewing impregnation of light that comes at the solstice, at that point just when it can't get any darker. And as your imagination just carries you through the quiet world of deep, deep fall, feel the energy of this season attuning you to similar states within your own being. Allow the darkness without to awaken your spiritual vision. And let the barrenness of nature help you find the place in yourself that awaits renewal. And reflect on where you feel the most empty, where in your life there's an open space ready to be filled. Because emptiness doesn't have to be a bad thing. And know that a quiet inner birth is on its way. One that will change you from within. One that will inspire new dreams. So imagine that some significant phase of your life experience is coming to an end in some profound kind of way. It may be something that has limited you and inhibited your joy and inhibited your inner peace and your love and your well-being. It might be a phase of life experience ending that actually has been very good, that served you well, yet it's just time for it to end so that something better can begin. It might be some pattern, a cycle, a way of being, a circumstance, something coming to an end that's going to allow an important transformation to occur. So even if you don't quite believe this, imagine it. Imagine how it would feel if you did. And ask yourself, if you did believe that something's shifting, something's coming to an end so something new can begin, what do you imagine transformation is about for you? What do you imagine is shifting? What do you think is ending? This shift may end a time of despair or struggle. It may simply bring you more fully into yourself. There may be no outer signal of this, because in this time of darkness, our only true guide is our inner knowing. Times of darkness really are those times where we have to have faith in what we know within, that we don't necessarily see with our physical eyes yet. So trusting that something wonderful is coming, even though you don't know what, allow a feeling of excitement and wonder to build within you. Just let that start to grow. Because the state of wonder is in and of itself a very magnetic and creative state. It starts to attract the magic of life. And now imagine a light coming to you. Maybe you sense it coming from the highest, wisest essence of your being. Perhaps you envision it coming from the very heart of God. And, maybe these are one and the same. But however you envision it being sourced, this beautiful light is very magical and wonder-filled, and it really touches that place of wonder within you. And as it grows brighter, clearer, you now see that it brings to you an image. And this is a symbolic image that is somehow meant especially for you. It's a symbolic image that just encapsulates all the blessings coming your way. This image may show all the keys for transforming challenges. It may present the higher purpose of your life at this time. It's a metaphor, a symbol of your path of highest good. And it's an image that will be like a magical talisman that is going to guide you through the next year along your path of highest growth. So let this image take shape in your mind's eye. Don't force it into being so much as let your imagination just bring it forth. See what pops into mind. If it feels like you're just making it up, don't worry about that, because imagination is often the quickest route into intuition. So allow an image to form in your mind's eye, trusting that even if you don't immediately understand its meaning, it's somehow still correct. It's right for you. So take a moment to let that perfect symbol, your perfect image, your magical talisman in image form, let it become clear. You might see it as though on a screen. You might see it as something sitting in your hand. You might just get a sense of it internally in some way. Just let it come to you however it does. You might just experience the thought of it. And as you come up with this image, as it becomes clear, now let it come to life. Let it come to life in a way that allows you to have an interaction with it. So put yourself into the picture with this symbol. Let yourself become it, let yourself do it, let yourself have it or hold it or step into it, or whatever it calls you to do. Also allow it to change or grow or evolve or develop in any way it just seems to want to. Let your imagination help you with this, because as I said, imagination can be a wonderful doorway into intuition. So it doesn't matter if it feels like you're just making it up. Let yourself have an experience and know that this image has come to you for a reason. That as you work with it, it's working on you, because symbols have energy. They have their own kind of power. So imagine this symbol has been put into your mind's eye, into your thoughts, purposefully. And even if you're not terribly conscious of what it means or what it's doing, trust that it's working on you in a very deep in profound subliminal way, healing you, teaching you, transforming you, helping you to bring about the end of your world as you've known it in some important and perfect way, so that you can experience a whole new paradigm of being. So just allow this to happen. Let your mind be soft and open. Let yourself have an adventure with your image and see where it takes you. And take a moment with that. Play with it. Let an experience unfold. Let it go wherever it wants, taking you along for the ride. You don't have to analyze or figure anything out. Just imagine and have fun with this. And now imagine that this symbolic image has come to you to awaken some very important power in you. The power to what? Discover what this power is and put a name to it. Fill in the blank. This image has come to awaken in you the power to what? See if you can really put it into words, because words are powerful. Words have creative energy. So find the word or words that describe this power. And when you can name this power, just jot it down in your notes. I always suggest having paper and pen handy for these sessions. If you don't have paper handy, don't worry about it right now. But if you do, actually write it down. Because writing the words in and of itself is also a powerful act. It starts energy moving in the direction of your thought. So we're going to do some more with this, but I want to stop here for a moment. I'm going to unmute everybody. I may mute some of you. If you're not wearing headphones, then you're likely to create an echo effect. So if you know you don't have headphones, you might want to mute yourself at the little green microphone icon. But otherwise I'm going to unmute people. But I want to open it up for anyone who'd like to share, comment, or ask a question. I'll see if we can do this with. So if anyone would like, you can just speak up. Just say your name first and your comment or your question. Anything coming up? You can also type in a question if you'd like.
Yeah. The symbol that came up with myself was a square diamond, and I wasn't quite sure what that meant at first, and I think I focused on what a diamond represents: brilliance, value, hardiness, almost a form of invincibility, prosperity. So I'm sort of working with those ideas as to why a diamond entered into my mind, and then tried to go inside of a diamond. And I think when I attempted to do that, I felt the invincibility part.
Oh, nice.
The protective part. You're protected because nothing can. Hard to destroy a diamond.
Yeah.
I don't know what else they think about that.
Well, let it keep growing with you, you might get some more from it. And you know, sometimes this work, we don't have to get it all consciously because it's doing something for us subliminally. So I think what you've gotten is a lot, actually. And just keep playing with it. See what comes to you.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyone else want to share?
Hi, Lynn. It's Yvette. I'll share. So the symbol that came to me was a dragonfly. And the message that I got is that it's just to be joyful and carefree and even entertaining.
I like that. Thank you. Good one. Any others?
This is Jacqueline, and the image that came to me was kind of like funny in that I'm not quite sure yet because I wasn't able to focus as much because I was absorbing about because I'd just gotten some news about my teeth that wasn't very good, but it was great to hear your confirmation about this in your newsletter about the darkness being kind of like I was thinking in synopsis a gift. But when I saw the image, but I was feeling stepping into my life purpose, but I was seeing, you know, like in the cartoons, you sometimes see the little character with their teeth like sparkling, like bling. I just like to see that little thing. And I'm going, well, okay. I'm not sure I understand what that means, but I was so happy to get something sparkly about me. And the fact that I will sparkle somewhere. It was enlightening. It was wonderful.
I like that. I like that. Thanks for sharing. Let's see, I just got a typed message. Somebody, Arby, I got secretariat. Nice. Love that. That's powerful. Good one, good one. And I do want to say, you know, when we have those things happen in life that just feel, you know, we've been manifesting for all good things to happen, and then something awful happens. There often is some very powerful gift in it. You know, I shared my own experience of Bill and I, my husband and I, went through this fall of him being diagnosed with lymphoma at the beginning of the fall season. By the end of the season, you know, he came back with all of his tests showing that he was cancer-free. Now, Bill and I had also been very clear about our intention to live a long and healthy life together. And we're in our late 50s now, and so, you know, health is becoming more important. And we've done so much work on cleaning up our lifestyle, of really living our lives in a way that supports health. I have the sense that the experience of him being diagnosed with lymphoma came in order to help us fulfill that intention to live a long and healthy life together. Because we are just attentive to our health in a way that we just have never been before. So, you know, don't be quick to judge things as good or bad in your life. Just work with them and let them talk to you about why they've come, what they're helping you with. And it might not be clear all at once, and yet after a while you might just become very thankful for that experience. It might wind up being one of your biggest gifts. So I'm muting everybody again at this point because I want to keep going with this. And I want you again to go back to what you discerned that you really want to call forth in the coming year. What you hit upon as being your highest heart's desire at this time in your life. Just go back to that and bring that back to mind. And imagine that the power that you identified, that's being awakened through the gift of this symbol, this symbolic image. Imagine that this power is your key for manifesting your highest heart's desire. Imagine that these two things are actually very connected. The power that you identified and your highest heart's desire. And this power, by cultivating it, by working with it at this time in your life, it really is going to lead you where you need to go. So something I want to suggest as an assignment for the week is to see how many ways you can find to use this power in your life, to put it into practice. And in fact, we're going to start right now. We're going to do some spiritual work together. And I really believe that we have so much more opportunity when we do spiritual work with other people than when we're just sitting alone in our own meditational corner doing our spiritual work by ourselves. I think that we tap into a synergy that is all of us together, that is really powerful beyond what we may ever know. So I always like to include in these sessions, most of them at any rate, some opportunity to do spiritual work together and tap into some of that synergy power. And this I think is true even for those of you who are tuning in to this at a later date as a recording, because truly time is an illusion. Science is showing us that in more and more ways. So by holding the intent that we are all together, we can still tap into that power. So again, just turn your attention inward, close your eyes again, take some deep breaths. Inhale deeply and exhale just as deeply. Just relax. And bring to mind the power that you identified, the power that this image has come to awaken in you. Just imagine it now as though you already have this power fully developed. Imagine it so vividly that you can feel yourself embodying this power, radiating this power, sharing this power with the world around you. Just take a moment with that. Every cell in your body is now vibrating with this particular power that is being awakened in you, that is now so completely formed in you, that you have become the master of it, an expert in it. See yourself walking it, being it, doing it, using it in your life. And imagine now that you are radiating this gift of power to everyone on this conference right now and to everyone who will be viewing this recording later. Imagine us all coming together in a very purposeful way. Imagine that all of these people are now able to benefit from your particular power because you're sharing it, because you're willing to shine it. So imagine it as an energy, as a light, that's now shining forth to every single person hearing these words. And recognize that everyone here is doing the same for you with their powers. And coming together in this way, in a way that really is to support the highest good of all of us, creates just a powerful synergy of energy. There's some wonderful alchemy that takes place, that takes us all higher, that speeds our growth, that speeds our ability to heal and manifest our highest good. It is the love energy that connects us to the power of God. So feel the power of all of us growing. See us all coming together in a beautiful circle of light, becoming brighter and stronger. Imagine now that you are not alone in your spiritual work, but that you have a whole group of people now on your team. And this power of love calls forth the assistance of divine light, divine love, all the beings of light and love that are part of God, that are there to assist us when we really open our hearts to the highest good. So knowing that we all have that foundation assisting us, again, bring to mind your highest heart's desire. And imagine it as though it's already fulfilled. See it happening in your life. Imagine walking it, talking it, being it, feeling just overjoyed at the experience of it. Letting it become so real that your body at a cellular level believes it's already happened. And your mind doesn't even need to believe this is possible. Just imagine what it would feel like if you did. That's all it takes. Imagination can take us anywhere. So just create that inwardly as vividly as you possibly can. Just enjoy it. Don't strain. This is about pleasure, not work. Let this experience be pleasure. And then let it go. Let it go into this energy vortex created by all of us, handing it up to God. Imagine that you're letting loose the most beautiful butterfly that just lit in your hand for a moment. And you can see many, many, many butterflies of our imagined heart's desires all flying up together, and it's a beautiful sight. And trust that this intention that you've now released will come back to you in the form you just imagined, or in some form that's better. Because sometimes what we imagine as our highest good is limited by what our personality can dream. And sometimes God has something better in mind for us. So just really let it go. And now, imagine that a process has been set in motion. That a process that is part of the magic of life, that is part of God's plan for you, that you can trust in. You don't have to micromanage it. You don't have to make it happen. You don't have to know how it's going to happen. Just truly let it go. And then take a deep breath. Open your eyes again. I just got somebody's little message here, so I'm going to check that. And come on back. Let's see. Sometimes it takes me a moment to get to these messages. Oh, somebody sharing the image that came to her was a leaf in a hand, and it turned into a small tree or vine with roots and soil. She was standing in a green field and ready to plant and contribute to a sustainable time now and in the future. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. That was Angela. Thank you. So, I'm going to unmute you all again in a moment. I'll give you a moment just to come back. Sometimes it's hard to talk after one of those kind of processes. I'll just tell you a little bit more that, the Miracles course, we take in new students once a quarter. Tonight's the first class of the quarter series. It's a year-long program. Every quarter deals with a very different kind of content. And if you'd like to join us, please do go online and sign up for all the rest. Love to have more of you be part of this program every week. The program is organized around a weekly written lesson that you access online. And the written material includes more than we can cover in one of these lessons very often. And many of them also include audio downloads of guided visualizations that you can listen to. And along with that, every week we also do a live presentation, such as tonight. And another layer of this program, we really think about the Miracles course as being the 3 faculty members and our technical director, Cynthia, as just being organized to help every individual manifest your miracles. So we all hold you in our prayers. Reverend Deb Taramani, Rev Deb, works with students on a one-to-one basis. She does amazing work with spiritual mind treatment, which is a form of prayer. And she will work with you individually and in group conferences like we did tonight on a monthly basis. And she's a real miracle maker. I've known Deb for many, many years. And she's particularly known for taking prayer requests from people. And she will keep on praying on a regular basis until your issue is resolved. She doesn't let it go. She's a total pit bull around that. And people have had amazing experiences with her help. It's like having someone giving extra energy to you and your manifestation. We also have Reverend Sandy, who works with students online, because the online material has a place where you can share written comments and interact with students in that kind of setting as well. And she particularly works with students who are wanting to use this material as an ordination program, because there are some different requirements for that. So that's a little bit of what the whole program incorporates. You can do all of that, or you can pick and choose. You can do the parts that work for you. People participate in a lot of different ways. But as I've shared, the whole process has a rhythm to it that starts to take your life in the direction of this very organic cycling of planting seeds in the spring, of growing your dreams in the summer, letting go of what you don't need in the fall, dreaming new dreams in the winter. It's a very interesting process, having done it myself for a number of years. So I'm unmuting now. You hear the cacophony all of a sudden. If anybody has questions or comments or anything you'd like to share, please do speak up. Love to hear from you.
Hi, Lynn. This is Yvette again.
Hi, Yvette.
I wanted to give you a follow-up to an exercise that we did a couple of weeks ago. It was where you were talking about an exercise where if there was some kind of a conflict, for us to do a little meditation from our highest self to their highest self and have this discussion and see what happens. So I had a discussion with my mechanic. I was having a car problem, and they had fixed the part, and it was no longer under warranty, but that part was not working the way they said it would. And so I had this little conversation with myself before I made the phone call, and I was so pleasantly surprised. He replaced the part without charge, without any argument. He was so pleasant about it, and I was flabbergasted.
Yay! That's very exciting. Nice to hear. Yeah, that was an exercise we did a few weeks ago of resolving potential conflicts or stuck places we get into when we speak personality to personality by talking higher self to higher self first. Thank you for sharing that, because it's always nice to hear that it really does work. Yeah. Anyone else have thoughts, comments, or questions? Let's see. Somebody's asking, said she wasn't able to pinpoint a particular power. How will this affect my use of my power? Well, Mary, you might want to keep playing with the image, and imagine that it's speaking to you. Imagine becoming the image, and see what kind of qualities it has. Does it feel soft? Does it feel hard? Does it feel urgent? Does it feel laid back? Does it feel joyful? Does it feel very focused? Does it feel diffused? And start to get some emotional quality to it. And I think you'll start to get in touch with what power is come to help you with. So I think that if you play with it a little bit, in fact, this recording will be up on my website soon, and you can even do the exercise over again if you want. I think it'll come to you. And if it doesn't, just hold the intention that you're getting whatever you need in a subliminal, unconscious way. That works too. Anything else? I can't hear you very well. Could you repeat that? Well, I do want to say, for those of you who are continuing students, if you haven't registered yet, you need to this week. One of the things that our web person, our technical assistant, Cynthia, does is she sends out a workbook and some materials for the upcoming quarter, and sets you up so that you have access to the online materials. So you won't get that until you re-register for this new quarter. So this is the week, folks. For any of you new students out there who are planning to register and haven't yet, any of you returning students, we shut registration down on the 10th. So you've got until December 10th. And sooner the better for us, because then we can get you the materials more efficiently. So I think that brings us to an ending for tonight. As always, it's a pleasure to be with you, and I look forward to seeing many of you again next week. Wonderful having FaceTime with those of you who turned your webcams on. Thank you all so much. And until we meet again, namaste to you all.
Namaste. Good night.
Good night.
Namaste.